What's going on, guys? This is Uche, and it's Dr. King's birthday. What's going on, guys? This is Uche, and I want to share a quick video with you. Actually, create this video.
Hey guys, this is Uche Lawrence. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I hope that the content that I'm providing you is extremely helpful. Please like, share, subscribe, and also hit that notification bell so that anytime I post a new video, you will be the first to find out about it.
What's going on, guys? This is Uche, and I want to make this quick video about something that I've been looking for a while. It's funny because this thing is not something that I would have imagined would have been hard to find. However, it did take a little bit of time to actually find it. And what it is the categories of credit scores. Yes, I know if you go on Fico or most credit websites, they'll tell you, like, you know, what range is poor, which range is good, fair, excellent, and so on and so forth. But what I was wondering was, I think it was after watching either it was a Credit Shifu video or Ask Sebi. Ask Sebi. I would say Sebi, I don't know why. But one of those two videos had mentioned the word prime or subprime. And I was thinking to myself, I only hear about those terms when it comes to housing loans, when they talk about a subprime loan or subprime market. But however, that term is also linked to credit cards. So I kept on looking, and I found this chart right here. I don't know if you can see it. This chart right here is upside down, I think. Well, no, I don't know what it's looking like. But if you want to find this chart, you can actually find it on my Instagram. It's on there. But I'll also post an image of it at the end of the video. So what's important about this is to understand that credit cards have levels or categories according to the level of prime, I guess. So I'm just going to read this to you real quick. So you have the lowest, which is any credit score between 300 and 499, which would be considered deep subprime. And what's interesting is there's an average credit limit attached to that. So the average credit limit for a deep subprime credit score is 1,834. And this is not the number you would start off from, but somebody who's had a credit card for a while, who's still living in that range. It might be someone who has let's say a really bad credit card, a high interest rate, or a secure card, who just hasn't done anything with it and has gotten incremental increases. On average, the most you would probably get up to, or you would be living around, is about 1,834. But we also know when you have a credit score that low, 300 to 499, you're opening cards at $200, $300. You know, if I don't think really more than that, unless you put more into it as far as a secured card. Then you have subprime. Subprime is when things are getting a little bit better. This is the range from 500 to 600. And within that range, subprime, on average credit limit, you're talking about 2,645. Again, this is not the number that you're starting from. This is the number that you would usually you would get to based on maintaining this range of credit score. Now you're getting to non-prime. So non-prime would be 601 to 660. And this is where you're starting to move into fair credit. In this range, for a lot of people, the floodgates start to open. You start to get that trickle of better credit cards. You might go from like the Capital One Platinum card, which is a no-frills card, which is pretty decent, but it's a builder card. Then you might now be entering into the higher level Capital One cards, maybe the Quicksilver 1, maybe the Venture 1, but you're in that range where you start to get better cards, and you start actually getting cards that have cashback rewards, like the Discover cards, and even in some cases start to enter the realm of being approved for the starter, what I consider a starter American Express card, like the Everyday card or the Everyday Preferred. Then from that point now, this is when the dam is broken and the waterfall is open. You're getting better interest rates, you're getting better products, and this is where you enter prime. So prime is from 661 to 780. And this, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you. So I'm sorry, let me go back to non-prime. The average limits out there is roughly about 4,674. This is if you're living in this space, and over time you tend to average out about there. But now when you get to prime, now you're averaging about 7,593. Okay, in this range now you're getting the better cards, and I will attest to this. I'm living in that prime range right now. And honestly, the lowest card that I've opened in this realm has been for $6,500, and on average, accounts are opening around $10,000 for credit cards. Now, the goal for all of us, and this is the range that it takes a lot of time to get to, but most of the time, this is really banked on maintaining all the right things, your credit utilization, your inquiries are low, and not only that, you've had cards for an extended period of time, 8 to 10 years. Now you're living in the super prime range. So the super prime category is 781 to 850. Okay, we know 850 is the highest you can score as far as FICO is concerned. And this is all FICO scores. Now, on average credit limit, you're looking at about 11,357. And in this range, I know people who've opened accounts, credit card accounts in this range, where we're talking about 20,000, 30,000 and above. So this is a very interesting thing to have, and it's actually a motivating factor. And I know at this point in time, I'm primarily focusing on prime and prime cards for the most part, because the more cards you have within that range, the tendency you tend to get those limits within that range, or only be approved for those cards. So I started off in the deep subprime about 2 years ago. I'm now in the prime. So pretty much all the cards that I apply for are prime. And not only that, I try to make sure all my cards limits are in that range. So one of the things I've done to really solidify myself in that prime range, because my credit record is still relatively young. So I can tell you right now, the category I do lowest on is credit history. But I've been able to move up the categories pretty rapidly. So what I'm able to do now is, or at least what I've been doing, is consolidating those cards from the same company so I can have a higher credit limit, or close out accounts that are way too low. So the lowest card I had was a Capital One Union Plus card. It was a co-branded card. And that card had been at $500 for about pretty much 2 years. And what I did is close that account out. So right now, I believe my lowest credit card right now is about $3,500, and it's my first Discover card. Then the next card after that is another Discover card, which is at $6,500, and everything beyond that is all $7,000 and above. So I don't know who this might help. It's just really information. I'm not telling you what to do either way. I'm just telling you what I've done, and I'm also telling you how being able to use this has been really helpful for me. So with that being said, guys, this is Uche. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon in another video. Peace.